All right, Newsa-Cast listeners, we're very lucky to have some throwback content here for you. And this week, we're going to go with one of the premier hitters from the American League. Played with his entire career with the Boston Red Sox, 1974 to 1989. Was named the AL MVP in 1978. And he's an all-around just really good person. And that player is Jim Rice.
No, absolutely, Tash. I tell you, you were never upset when you opened up a pack of Topps baseball cards and you had Jim Rice. I was always excited.
Yeah, what a fun guy to watch too. Just
Yeah, classic, right. And those were some awesome. I mean, those were our growing up years. That's where you and I developed our love of baseball. Were those at late 70s, early 80s? The Yankees were good. Boston was good. I mean, the American League East, the Brewers played in the American League East at that time. So we saw, Boston quite a bit at that time.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it was good stuff. Good stuff.
A legendary career, absolutely a fantastic baseball player, but also really was charitable. He worked and he wanted to give back. And a lot of those organizations that he worked with during the course of his career and after dealt with kids.
Yes.
He was an honorary chairman of the Jimmy Fund, and he was part of the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in Boston, and so he was a very, very involved in the community as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Just an incredible guy. I mean, it's nice. We've said this 100 times already on this show that you see the athlete performing whatever sport they're doing, and you think they're a certain way, but when you sit down and talk to them and understand who they are, all of them have stories like this, that what they give back and what they do for their communities, it's huge. It's epic. It affects a lot of people's lives in a good way.
Yeah, and in fact, one of those good ways is on a nationally televised game in 1982. There was a foul ball hit into the stands and it struck a young boy in the head. He left the dugout, went into the stands, grabbed the kid, brought him through the dugout into the clubhouse so the the medical personnel could work on the kid. And truly, if it wasn't for his actions, that kid may not have made it. They didn't know if paramedics would have made it in time to help that kid. And the young man made a full recovery. He's a young man now, boy at the time, made a full recovery from his injuries. And Jim Rice also paid for all of his medical bills.
It's just incredible. I mean, what an unbelievable story. I remember when that happened, there was actually television coverage. I remember him running up into the stands and running back down into the dugout with the boy in his arms. Just heroic. I don't know how else to say it.
Absolutely. So, we hope you enjoy this throwback.
And the special about this interview, you get to see Dave Edwards, who we obviously just had on the podcast. But Dave and Jim have a great conversation. And they might even talk a little bit about a soap opera.
Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest tonight. Welcome, Boston Red Sox great and Hall of Famer, Mr. Jim Rice. How you doing, partner? Good to see you. Have a seat. You feel free. So does that bring back some pretty sweet memories there, or what?
I got a little buzzed. I never really watched myself as far as looking at films. We didn't. It's not that long ago, but we didn't have films. We can go back and watch ourselves. But that was a little enjoyment.
We have a little special something for you. We'll play here in just a second or two. Congratulations on the Hall of Fame, first of all. How's that process work? They just call up and say, is Mr. Rice there?
Well, I knew approximately what time that the ballot was going to be in. I sort of have a routine. As being a ball player, we have so much time on the road to do nothing. I love golf. But regardless if I'm on the road or at home, at 12:30, depends on the city, I got to be in the hotel or at my house at 12:30 because I'm a Y&R guy. Young and Restless.
Oh, hello.
I have to look at my soap opera. It started with my mom with General Hospital, and after certain characters died off, I went went to Young and Restless. So when I got the call from the Hall of Fame, Jeff Eisen called me. He said, Jim, I have some good news and have some bad news. I said, what's that? He said, you're in the Hall of Fame, and I need you at a certain time. I said, Jeff, I appreciate that, but it's 12:35. I will call you back after the wide arm. And that's what I did.
Who's Victor with these days, anyway?
He's still with Nikki.
Is he really?
Yeah.
My wife's sitting right over there. She knows we used to watch Young and the Restless, too.
Okay, wait a minute. Have she been watching it lately?
No, not lately.
I want to know, wait a minute. Who kidnapped Jill? And she was just kidnapped the other day. So I got to find out. Somebody Google that for me, please.
Do you DVR when you're on the road?
No, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that.
Okay.
I got to see it that day. I got to see it that day.
I'm with you on that. We used to actually, in the VCR days, we'd like archive and watch them on the weekend. I hate to admit it, we did.
Well, I have a buddy. I can call my buddy right now. He'll tell me what happened today. My wife told me to get a life.
Yeah, there you go. My wife tells me that all the time. You see the Hall of Fame. You're in it now.
Yeah.
You see some of the men that just got the call. How's that feel?
It's good, but, you know, I didn't really play against these guys.
Yeah.
So you go back and you look at the numbers, and you look at Maddox, and you look, I know what Frank Hurt did.
Oh, yeah.
And Glavine, guys like that, and you say, those guys are good. Mm-hmm. But then again, we sit in a room with Hall of Famers, and hey, he weren't that good. Why? He the pitch against me. Because, you know, you sit there and you listen to Reggie Jackson, Jim Palmer, and all the rest of the guys, and Bob Gibson, and you say, these guys that's talking here, they were bad. But then you look at the other guys, they were bad during their time.
Oh, yeah.
But you couldn't wear these guys' socks here.
Yeah. Anyone you played with that you go, gosh, that guy should be in the Hall right now. And he's not getting the respect.
I never really sat down and thought about it, but there are probably guys out there, and I think the writers are voting, but I think sometimes a lot of guys are overlooked. Yeah. And you look at my numbers, the 10 years that I was on the ballot, whatever years, my numbers didn't change. But I never played the game to go into the Hall of Fame. I played the game because I had a gift. I had a talent. And I was like Jackie, I wanted to be a leader and not a follower. That's what my dad told me. And then when I got to Boston, and there were no pressure on me, but I'm saying, some guy played here many years ago named Ted Williams. Who is he?
Yeah.
Then I had to play another guy named Carl Yastrzemski.
Yeah.
And then they throw me out there, and I said, oh, man, what the heck I got to do here?
Not left field, please.
My thing was that Yaz came to me one day. He said, Jimmy, this could be your club and Freddie club. But Freddie Lynn eventually left. And so now there were no pressure on me, but I enjoyed the pressure that I applied to myself because I wanted to be a leader. And I had Johnny Pesky, my mentor, to really help me through the stress that I was going through as far as following in the footsteps of those other two guys. He said, look, just go out there and be yourself and enjoy and have fun. And that's what it was all about.
You looked like you were having fun because those teams were fun to watch.
It was. We play 162 games a year. We play about 30 games in spring training.
Right.
And the 15 years I was in the big leagues, I tried to miss one day in spring training. That's March 8th. That's my birthday.
Oh.
I don't try not to play on try not to play on March 8th.
There you go.
That was it. But the rest of the season in spring training, I played every day, and I think I'm the only player in the game that played 163 games in 1 year because we had a one-game playoff with the Yankees.
Sure.
So I played 163. So I try to average out between 157 and 163.
Do Red Sox fans still have a special place in their heart for Bucky Dent?
Yeah. It's the Bucky F rule.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
But you know, it's baseball. It's any other sports. There's going to be winners. There's going to be losers. And it's just like being an athlete. You know, athletes probably say, "Hey, I could have played another 4 years." Yeah, in your mind.
Yeah.
But your body's saying you can't do it. so your body will let you know.
Goose Gossage was here last year. He was one of our speakers. Colorful guy. He had some very flattering words to say about you. The context is I'd be staring him down. He'd be staring right back. And I'm telling you, there was no man I wanted to face less than Jim Rice. He was the strongest, toughest, most competitive man I ever faced. Pretty flattering. That's a guy that could bring it.
Yes, but you can't let Goose intimidate you.
Yeah.
If any pitcher, any athlete can intimidate you, there's an advantage. With Goose, the fastball and the slider are about the same speed.
yeah.
So what you try to do for me is I would say to myself, regardless if he throw me a fastball or slider, ball up, ball down, I can't hit. I got to get something up in my eyes. And it's just a matter of making some kind of adjustment. And I was very upset at Goose, and I told him. He said, look, he said, I'm pulling for you to get in the Hall of Fame. I said, Goose, I get in the Hall of Fame, I'm going to call you. Goose was the first one I called in. Cecil Cooper was the second one, then I called family. Goose was out hunting somewhere. I said, I'd never call you again.
Hey, Will, do we have that shot? I know it might be hard for Jim to see, but let's go to the video screen to see if oh, here it is. Everybody take a look. If you can see it, Jim, around my corner here. Boom. You know what that is? That is just about leaving County Stadium. That's Jim Rice who put it out of the house.
That's when I was young.
Do you remember shots? Do you remember certain things and places you were at when that baby went flying, something like that?
Certain balls.
Certain ones?
The owner of the Red Sox, Thomas Yawkey, I hit a ball off Steve Busby over the flagpole.
Oh, yeah.
The longest ball you ever watched hit out of that ballpark. Whew. And then Matt Keogh, Don Zimmer was on the bench. Matt Keogh hit me one time. And Don Zimmer stood up on the dugout bench and said, leave the man alone. Don Zimmer and I were like that.
Don't do it.
The next time I came up, I hit one like the third row in Yankee Stadium. And then he threw it me again. Don Zimmer came up and said the same thing. Then the next pitch almost cleared Yankee Stadium in left field.
Oh, hey.
So some of you remember, but we were taught to hit line drives. Guys now are taught to elevate the ball.
Yeah.
I like to hit line drives.
And you did?
Yeah.
When you saw the Green Monster, did you just drool?
I was a right field hitter. I hit the ball at the right side. I was in AAA, and I won the Triple Crown in AAA, and they asked me to come up. And I said, I don't want to come up. I don't want to come up until I'm ready to stay.
Okay.
And so when they called me up, I stayed. But the Green Monster didn't affect me at all. I was a line drive hitter, and I was not going to let anything distract me from being a line drive hitter. That's the way we were taught. We were taught to do fundamentals.
Yeah. Fantastic teams to watch. You'd see the Green Monster, that you knew you were Boston. But you'd also see that sign up in the outfield. That was pretty special to you.
Yeah.
The Jimmy Fund.
The Jimmy Fund.
The Jimmy Fund.
Mr. Yawkey started the foundation with a little boy named Jimmy and his cancer research, and I was chairman of the cancer research for 5 years. And we have a telethon every year to raise money for cancer research. And once you become part of the Boston Red Sox, you become part of the Jimmy Fund. And it's outstanding. I mean, I don't care how strong you are, men, but when you go down to the cancer research and you see the little kids down there are in a dying phase, it'll make the strongest man cry. Make you weep like a little girl. Because it's strong.
Do you feel as appreciated as you should be with a career like you had?
I don't really think about it. I feel like I'm loved in Boston because if not, I would be in South Carolina. And I've been in Boston for 35 years.
Fantastic.
And so every athlete in Boston is like, if you watch the program Cheers, everyone is like Norm. No. They know who you are. They know who you are. I mean, you go down to Newberry Street, Newberry Street's like Rodeo Drive. And you walk down, everyone know who you are. It's a very sports-minded city, and a lot of the sports figures still hang around in Boston.
Yeah.
They don't go anywhere.
What keeps you busy now? What are
I
you doing?
still work with the Red Sox. I've been with the Red Sox since 1971. I signed out of high school, spent 4 years in the minor leagues. At the end of my 4th year, I was in the big leagues, and been there ever since. And I've been working with our New England network station called NESN. Do a little pre and post game for the last, I think I started in 02.
Good.
And,
Do you ever want to do any coaching along the way?
I did. I was a hitting instructor for 6 years, and I have 4 grandkids, and I do not need to be a babysitter. But when you become a coach, all the blame is on you. Mm-hmm. A player's never wrong. Why? Because they make more than you. That's why they're never wrong. And a player can get you to stay, and a player can get you fired.
One final thing before we head out.
I'm having fun now. We can talk all
Let's
night.
just keep going then. Anybody know the latest on Young and the Restless so we can help out Jimmy?
I saw some of it today. Well, you know, Jack and Nick, you know, they think that they have this daughter now that they have, but it's really Nick's daughter. Nick's ex-wife, you know, pulled a fake blood test. You know, stay with me now. Okay?
Is there going to be a quiz after this?
It could be.
Okay.
But that's what. See, the lady back there?
She knows.
All right.
She's
All
on
right.
it.
See, she knows. The lady back here, she got it. That's right.
Wasn't the daughter Victoria from Victor? How many years ago? I mean, I lost track.
Victoria's still Victor's daughter. Victoria and Nick's brothers and sisters.
See, this is soap opera talk here, people. Come on.
The mother name is Nikki.
Yep.
Okay.
Nikki doesn't, well, I was going to say she doesn't look like she's aged, but she has, because she's been on the show a long time.
I know, but you know how Vic is. Vic could just bring him back. Well, wait, now, here's the thing. Miss Chancellor's gone, you know. Now, Miss Chancellor probably had to have the best plastic surgeon in the world. I mean, she could take 10 years off like it was nothing.
She was a hag. Come on.
Yeah, but she was rich.
She was rich.
Yeah.
There you had that one. Tell us a little bit, an amazing story.
I
Young
just
man.
did. Okay, go ahead. Jack, you see how we're having fun up here?
I was attempting
Okay,
to get
go ahead.
I was attempting to get back to baseball.
All right, go ahead. We're serious now.
Young man gets hit by a line drive. Mm-hmm. That's frightening, first of all.
Okay.
You jumped in where most would not. Tell us about what happened that day.
It's amazing. Well, Dave Stapleton hit a line drive. I guess we call it getting jammed. Yeah. Dave Stapleton's a right-handed hitter, and he hit the ball behind our dugout, which is on the first base side. So it's telling you that he's a little tardy with his bat. So he hits a kid, I guess, in the head more than anything else. And the fact is that his dad was there with him.
Right.
It's amazing how people will panic when they see blood.
Oh.
And the trainer that was on the steps, I mean, you probably could just, maybe from here to table 11, that's how far it was, from the trainer to the
second table.
Yeah, to picking up the kid. And everyone just panicked. Mm-hmm. And I was in the dugout, and I just came around and said, what's going on? Nobody said the kid got hit. And I just ran over and got the kid. And his dad said that I probably saved his life. Wow. But it was just a thing of if my kids, if they were in a situation like that, I would want someone to go and pick them up. Mm-hmm. And the trainer panicked because he said that by going and picking the kid up, anything could have happened any time.
Sure.
But I didn't think about it. I don't want anyone to think about it. I'm going to sue you if you see my kid out there hurt. And that's the thought that I had in my head.
And so you did what?
I picked him up and took him in the clubhouse.
And there was a doctor waiting, right?
Doctors always around.
Always there, somewhere.
Yeah, always have doctors around.
And without that help?
It helped him. And matter of fact, he came back the day that I was at the ballpark after I was inducted to the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. And he showed up.
Mm-hmm. Next time you come back to Wisconsin, come when it's a little warmer. We'll go play some golf.
Well, you know, I would definitely give it a thought. But I'll make a deal with you. I'll come back, but we got to play early in the morning. But see, here's the thing over here. We probably can play a little later, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because I noticed it comes on 11:30 here.
That's right, Central Time.
So I noticed that. So I can do that.
Mr. Jim Rice, Baseball Hall of Famer, it has been a pleasure to have you here, sir. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Rice. Watch that step.
Oh, I will.
That's called cleaning the table. Thank you so much for being a part of this totally different night for the Red Smith Sports Award banquet tonight. Don't forget, the silent auction goes for half an hour from this point on. Thank you so much for everybody attending and for helping us donate money to the youth sports organizations of Northeast Wisconsin. Drive home safely.
Please subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so you'll get notified when we post another great episode or interview. Download the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for your support.